All right. So I want to walk you through the history of what people used to do or users used to do with their private key, how they store them, how they use them, and why we came up with this idea of the parity signer. So before we start, who of you owns a hardware wallet? Show me the hand. Oh, that's a big portion. I would say a good 85%. So I'm going to go quickly because also we are late on the schedule. That's a nice story, but it can be a nice quick story. So you probably all know that when we send a message on the blockchain where we want to transfer money, basically when Alice sends money to Bob, what Alice does is create a transaction that's like a message, then she signs it with her private key. And so that she can tell, okay, this is actually Alice that created this transaction, and then it's sent to the blockchain. So these two arrows are places where you're going to use software to do this. And this is where you can get tricked, or you can, people can try to kind of take your private key eventually. Or, yeah, pretend you're going to do something and they are actually doing some other things. So that's when you will use a software, and these are the keys the key elements that we want to make sure are secure. And of course, the most important part in this whole thing, the thing that you have to hold securely, is the private key. So when you get the private key today, or actually Argent, for instance, try to hide this, but like originally what we used to have was, okay, a mnemonic or a private key directly in plain text that is given to you. And where do you keep it? It's, well, it should be on a piece of paper, but at some point there are like text messages, and the problem with these two is that they are not encrypted. If someone takes it, they can steal your money, so you better put it somewhere safe. And what we came up with after that is the JSON key file that is encrypted itself, and that you can use eventually also to, together with a password, to just give access to be able to sign transactions, right? So what people used to do in the beginning of crypto was using website, so like MyEtherWallet. So what you do is you actually copy-paste your private key, or you upload your JSON key file and then give the password. And the problem is, if MyEtherWallet gets hacked, or maybe not, or maybe you just clicked on this link this day because you were in a hurry and you wanted to send some crypto to your friend, you know usually that you shouldn't click on ads and stuff, but you were on another computer, whatever. It can happen that you actually give the private key to some fake MyEtherWallet. And the problem is not that MyEtherWallet can be hacked. Anything can be hacked, right? DNS, etc. The problem is that you give your private key. You should never give your private key, ever, right? So people could use MetaMask as well. So MetaMask is not in the browser. It's like a bit like an application. It's actually more on your computer than in the browser. The thing is, it's connected constantly to the internet. It's a plugin, so it can be updated automatically. And at some point, MetaMask can also quite easily, well, get hacked at some point. If you remember now it's a couple months ago, MetaMask got actually kicked out of, I think it was the Chrome store. And during these couple of hours, there was a fake MetaMask that popped up. So this is the kind of thing that, I mean, MetaMask, even though it's an application on your computer, can get hacked, and your private key can get stolen. So what you also can do, and that's, for instance, the move that MyCrypto did, or what we did with the wallet that's called Parity Feather, it could be used on your, like, not directly connected to the internet, but on your, as an application on your PC, right? Again, you're gonna have to somehow give your private key, not in plain text because they don't allow it, but you have to unlock your JSON key file, and if these guys, for some reason, get hacked, or because you use it on your PC, and that's probably the main problem. You use it on the PC you use every day, right? your PC, the whole environment, could be watching, you could have a keylogger and you could just lose your private key. So most of you have some hardware wallet. These guys, they are nice. They keep your private key safe, and you still need to somehow craft the transaction and send it to the blockchain, right? So what you do is that you use an application such as Feather or MyCrypto. You craft the transaction, you send it to the hardware wallet. You sign it on the hardware wallet. You should be able to check it before signing it, right? Then you send it back to this application, and this application sends the message that you just signed on the blockchain. And then the blockchain verifies it, that it verifies that it's you that did this, and if that's fine, then it's gonna be all right. So what happens is, if this application that you need could be Trezor, could be Ledger, could be whatever, is trying to send you a message that is been altered, you should be able to check this and actually not send it, right? And say, okay, stop. If still they let you craft a normal transaction, but once you signed it, they try to alter it, you probably all know that's actually not possible. Nobody can sign it without having the private key. So if they alter the message or the transaction will be invalid and not added to the blockchain. So now what we've actually done here is that we've decoupled what I explained earlier. We decoupled the crafting of the message and the signing of the message, and we've just put this in a specific hardware wallet. So these guys are nice. I prefer when they are open source, open hardware, etc. But they cost a bit of money, and actually, I don't know if you saw these talks at CCC this year, but they are also not totally invulnerable. Like, we can actually hack them, and what we thought was, would be cool if there was an app that could turn your phone into a hardware wallet, so that anybody can kind of, without having to buy a hardware wallet that is surely very secure, you could still have like a bit of money, somewhat safe, on your smartphone that is not used. Because all of us have some smartphones, all the smartphones that we just put in a drawer and let them collect dust. And yeah, it would be nice to use them. And how would we do this? We would use QR codes to communicate with the computer. So again, this is what we want to use it for, to just, not regularly, but sometimes, to use it quite easily and with the phone that you already have. So this is why we built Parity Signer. Who of you have ever heard about Parity Signer? All right, 20%, I would say. So I'll present it briefly, and I'll show you a demo how it works. So Parity Signer is an app, a mobile app that runs on iOS and Android. And what it does is that it's extremely simple. You can create an account, you can recover an account with a seed phrase, and you can sign transaction with QR codes, and that's about it. Oh yeah, it does this all offline. Your mobile phone should never, ever, ever be online. You should just, I think I have this on the next slide. Yeah, you should use a new smartphone, so it doesn't look probably as nice as the latest Samsung as before. It looks like your old HTC with the broken screen. Cool. Actually, we don't care about the broken screen. That's fine, as long as it has like a screen kind of that you can use and a camera. So use an old smartphone that you never use for day-to-day things. Like, you want to have it offline, so you should factory reset it, encrypt it if you can. On iPhone, it's encrypted per default. On Android, you have to do it yourself. Then install Parity Signer with an SD card if you can. Otherwise, you might have to connect it once to the internet. And then you put it offline. If you can, even remove the Wi-Fi antenna and stuff. And then you will use this as a hardware wallet. So how does it work? And that's what I'm going to show you now. So I talked to you about Perry Feather. Perry Feather earlier. This is this tiny piece of software that is actually a wallet running on top of a light client. So there's the only centralized part here is the developer building this app, which is open source, by the way. So nobody can actually alter this transaction once I will make it. On the left part, I have my phone here. It's there, and I have already created on Parity Signer an account. As you can see, it's in offline mode, and this guy is connected to a node, and it's synced. So what I do is I'll just bind my account. So I'll just say import an account and for Parity Signer. So here it's my camera, and on the phone I will just show the QR code of this account. All right, so here I just did something very simple. I just told to my Feather on the right, hey, this is my account that I have on my phone, so that I can always check the balance, for instance. Right, cool, I have like 98 ETH. And what I want to do is send something, right? So I want to send, do I have something in my, no I don't, so I'll just copy there. I'll just copy a rich account, and I'm going to send this from my account on my phone that is offline again. And I'll send, I don't know, I'll just send the max, I don't mind. So here it says scan. So basically it created the transaction and showing me the transaction, the first message that is not signed yet. And it asked me, okay, sign it with the signer. So I click on scan, I scan it. Here I can review, and that's the beauty of having a smartphone, right? You can really show tons of information and really review things very carefully. Like, okay, I really want to send this amount of ETH from this account, which is none, right? The demo EthCC, to this other account who is not known by the hardware wallet, and I can say sign transaction. All right, you're going to see my PIN. It's Robston, so I don't really care, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's okay. And then it shows me a signed transaction on the offline smartphone. So here, again, I have to show the signed transaction to Parity Feather. That shows me one last time, I'm going to send from this account that is offline, how many ETH, bam, send. That's it. So it's going to take probably a minute or two, so I'm just going to keep going. And as you can see, it's actually fairly straightforward. Presentation. Right, so behind the scene, how it works is a really simple app written in React Native. As I said, it's open source. The crypto library or written in Rust. They're also open source. It's made to be used offline totally. It's actually something that we really hope will be followed, that people just never switch it online. Yeah, if you want to learn about it, it's on GitHub, of course. So let's be extremely clear. I'm not saying this is going to replace your hardware wallet. By no means, right? We're just saying this is a way much more secure than having your keys on your computer or on MetaMask, etc., right? If you have like some amount of money that, as always with crypto today, unfortunately, you're ready to lose, right? You should be able to use it anywhere, and we want to have it like to store it as securely as possible. So this is a reasonably secure app. What we want to do next, as you saw, it's really simple. You can use it with Robston, with Kovan, and so mostly with Ethereum today. We want to have some substrate support in the future. We want to support message signing. This is actually already possible with the version that I showed you. That's master from today. And we want to have the AP39 recovery phrase, which we didn't have before. All right. Yeah, you can get it on Google Play Store. You can get it on Apple. I see already a question I'm giving. And of course, on GitHub, you can download the APK. All right, questions? Yes, please.
So I just checked the QR code that you have displayed for the signature request.
Yes.
And it's a JSON.
Yes.
And there is a ERC 681, which tells you how to encode a transaction request, a signature request in a QR code. So why aren't you using the standard ERC? It's implemented by all major products.
I can't remember exactly, but I remember an issue that was raised by Ligi for this. And I think we just cannot for this specific use case because I think we have to pass the chain ID or something like this. So like you can check it out later on, but this is like, we have to come out with a standard. I was talking also with Pedro from Wallet Connect, from also with the other guys from that built this kind of application. We need, I totally agree, to come up with a standard so that we all can use the same kind of QR code. I totally agree on that. Yes.
I'm seeing something very difficult for mass adoption for this application because we told that one guy need to buy a form, to reset it factory, and after that, to set up the application. But to be honest, it costs very huge amount.
So we're not trying to sell it or something. It's like if you kind of want to use your old smartphone, like you don't have to buy one, etc. We're not telling you use it. Like if you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's just there. Like we were like, okay, why not do this? And we just did it. I'm not sure what you mean with the whole process. Okay, well, all right. I'm gonna take another question. Last question. All right. Please quickly and really loud. I don't hear you. We do support mnemonic today, but it's the old parity mnemonic. So basically, you can it's like a brain wallet. You can just write any sentence, and this will work out in mnemonic. This is definitely a showstopper. I totally agree. Like next version, we're gonna have parity 39. I'm happy to talk with the next guys for the next question. Thank you. Yeah.